Hello folks, today we're taking a look at the game called Symphony No.9. It's published by Moaideas Game Design and the designers are Frank Liu and Shen. And in this game you're investing into those different classical composers and doing the concerts and eventually trying to get the most benefit out of that and have the most points, of course. And yeah, let's take a look at how the game works. So Symphony No.9 is played over the course of 6 rounds, and in each round you have 3 phases. You have the sponsor phase, you have the concert phase, and you have the cleanup phase. So during the sponsor phase, you will grab the cubes from the center over here. At the first round of the sponsor phase, you can grab 2 cubes for free. Each player will do that in turn order. Then the second round, you can buy 1 cube for 4 money, and then during the third round, buy the cube for 8 money. So you can grab the cubes. What do you need the cubes for? So basically, you need these in order to get the majority in the color, in order to get the works from the composers of the same color. So for example, if I would have enough cubes, and let's say I'll have 3 of these, maybe 2 of these, and something like that. Like, let's say it's something like that, then eventually I will get, let's say, majority in red and green. That means I get the works from Handel and Haydn. I get the works from these composers and I get them as tiles. The tiles give me the opportunity to score the objectives that are connected to these composers and based on how many works of them I have as well. Now, the cubes will go away based on if you had the majority. For every 2 cubes that you had, if you had the majority as well, you have to discard 1. So in this case, I will discard these 2 cubes over here, in these 2 cases. So everyone will get in tile, or maybe somebody will not get any tile because they didn't have majority in anything, but they will not lose cubes at least. So then we go to the concert phase. And during the concert phase, first of all, we see the importance of different composers, their reputation numbers. So the rightmost empty slot shows you the reputation, the current reputation of the composer, and then you put them here into the concert board based on their reputation. So there's the most important, the high budget concerts, then the mid budget concert, and then the low budget concerts. So based on the reputation, they go to different slots. I'm just gonna put them at random here for now. Then during the concert phase, what you will do, you will reveal this token. This is the initial budget of the concert that you will be holding during this round. And there are different spots over here. So for example, if the total money that every player has bid is 8 to 11, then they have the low concert, then 12 to 14, they have the mid concert, and these are the composers that will be performing, these composers' works will be performing during that concert, and so on. If you bid a total of if you bid a total of lower than 8 or higher than 17, you bust. You will not lose any money from bidding, but you will not get the concert done, and somebody will lose cubes as well. So during the bidding phase, so before we do the concert, we have to bid. We have to give our money for the concert's budget. So we get some money from our stack over here. We put it in the fist. It's a blind bid. We reveal all together. Of course, before that, we can also discuss. It depends on a player group. You can do the discussion, but you don't have to hold credit for that. So I mean, you can lie about that you're gonna bid something high and so on, but you can discuss at least. So let's say everyone has revealed, then you will count all the money from all the players that have bid plus the concert initial budget, and then you will see, let's say if that was 13, then it's in a range of the mid concert, 12 to 14. So the concert will be held if you bid over or under 8 or 17, so you will bust, but you will get your money back. Let's say the concert was held, the mid concert. That means that the works of brown, yellow, and purple composers will perform. And if you have cubes in those colors, you will get income for every cube in these colors over here. And you also have to discard the cubes as well. For each color that you got income from, you have to discard 1 cube as well. So let's say in this case, it's not really beneficial for me because I would get only 4 money, somebody will get more, something like that. So, but also if you are the one who bid the most for this concert's budget, you will get a bonus like +5 money or extra cube, or you can prevent 1 cube from discarding during the income phase and so on. So that's the concept phase. And then we will go to the cleanup phase. We see if any musician is dead. So the thing is that if the row of the musician is empty, let's say something like that, let it be for now, then that musician is dead. Now the dead musician's work still give you money, they are still performed, but you can no longer get any cubes from them. Plus there are some objectives, or at least there's one objective that gives you extra points if the composers are dead. Now, what are the objectives? Eventually we'll do this for 6 rounds and you will start scoring. You will get the most of your scores from these objectives. So these objectives have different levels. So if this objective was attached to the red row, red composer's row, so to Handel's row, then it will score if you would have his works in front of you. So there's level 1, level 2, level 3. That means that if you have one work from Handel from red, you will score 3 points for each dead composer that you had from the whole game. And if you would have 3 tiles from Handel, from the red, 3 works, then you would score 5 points for each dead composer. So basically the scorings work for everything, but you need to have tiles from the specific composer in order for these scores to work. So for example, there's another score. For example, if you score 1, 1.5 or 2 points based on what level of green you have, you score points for every other work or tile that you have except the green itself. So for example, this one is very obvious. This one scores 5 points for every brown you have. So the one that attached to brown scores for brown itself. And there are some other different objectives. There's the A and B sides, but eventually you will do all of that scoring. You will get some extra points. For example, you have the furniture as well. You can use the furniture in order to bid, but if you will not use your furniture, you can get points at the end of the game, but you can also take it as a money during the game. And you will score some few extra points, and then eventually whoever has the most points at the end of the game will be declared the winner of Symphony No. 9. So, components and artwork. Now, to be honest, this game has a usual Moaideas game design production, which is nice, but it's not the best. I like the box itself. It's the cardstock production is done nicely, and the art itself is, I don't know, when I look at this game, it looks really mathy. It looks like an Excel sheets, whatever. It doesn't look appealing. It doesn't look beautiful. And I do understand that once I started playing this game, I understood why it looks like that, because it's very important to have those different tracks and things, and that way it's cleaner to manage them, to look at them. But still, this game is not a pretty one. This game is a lot of symbols, a lot of, less colors, just more symbols or numbers or whatever, and cubes. So I wouldn't say that it's a great production, and I wouldn't definitely say that it's a great art, but everything works graphically. Everything, the iconography, everything else is totally fine. I like how it's laid out overly, because it's functional. So I give components and artwork 3 out of 5. Let's go to the theme. Now, while you kind of feel like you're investing into those classical composers, when they die, their works go on and they're still performed, and that's a nice touch to the game. And there's the concert, you need to consult the budget, and bid for the budget, which is okay, that's just a mechanic. But this game is more mechanical than thematic, and you probably could have slapped a few other themes onto these mechanics. And I cannot really, I don't know what to say about this theme. It kind of works, but it's not the most thematic thing, and maybe it's a little bit boring theme, and maybe this game would sell because it has a musician or musical theme to it. But on the other hand, when people buy it, and they want to experience, oh, symphony, classical composers, this theme is not done a lot in this board gaming world, so I want to get this cool new experience. They will probably just see lots of mechanics, lots of dry Eurogame matters in this game. So I give the theme kind of works, but not in the best way. So I give the theme 3 out of 5. Now let's go to the mechanics. And that's where the game shines. This I told you, this is like a dry Euro game with like Excel things going on, but not really. It's not that hard of a game, to be honest. And I like how you take the cubes of those tracks and how you do those different rounds, 1 cube, 2 cubes, and then you want to pay more money to get more cubes during this round, or you pay less and you save your money for the concert, for the bidding. I like all of that stuff and how you get those different tiles, which are composers, and if you had the majority in that in that color of the cube, you get that composer's tile, and you are kind of collecting those tiles, those composer tiles, because those certain composers, certain colors are connected to certain end game scorings as well, and they act very differently. And it just works really smoothly, in my opinion. The bidding phase is fine as well. I mean, like the budget thing over there, where you can say whatever you want and you're trying to cooperate. It's not really, like, oh, I'll bid something like that, I'll bid something like that. It's not extremely interesting, but it's still nice because you want to get to a certain, mid-budget or low-budget or a high-budget concert. You want to get to those because you have cubes in those colors, so you can score more money in. It's like economy working over there. And eventually you are trying not to bid too much, or maybe you bid more and you will bust all the players because they will lose more cubes. It depends, but you don't want to lose too much money and so on, and it depends if you overpay and it goes beyond the high budget, then you will lose extra. And I like that aspect. It's gonna punish you for trying to kind of ruin the game for others too much, which is really, really nice. So you will have to find the balance in that bidding phase over there. And grabbing those cubes eventually when the cubes have ended, so that composer dies as well. That's a really nice touch as well. And those bonuses for everything. It just, your whole board and everything works very smoothly. It's very economic, dryish game, but I like the whole package as it is. So I give mechanics 5 out of 5. Let's go to replayability. Now, in my opinion, this game has a really nice replayability, because it depends on what you're chasing for, how you bid for the concerts, how it will all end up, and what other players do, what other players think about how they do the set collection. And the coolest part is eventually what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the cubes in order to get the tiles, so you can get more of these tiles, so you can up the level of the endgame scoring. So if you have only 1 tile in that color, you will have a level 1 scoring for that color. If you grab 2 or 3, you will have a level 2 or level 3 scoring for that row, for that exact color. And you're trying to evolve and get to those certain endgame conditions, but you, like, let's say, the endgame condition says that you will score points for every different composer that you have worked with, whose works you have on your tableau, which means that you want to grab those tiles from a certain color in order to have the maximum of that endgame, but then you have to grab the tiles of all other composers as well, so you will score something. And those scorings, they interact with the whole game, but they are bent, so how well you will score is also bent to how many tiles you have of that certain color, of that certain row. And there are A and B sides, and the scorings can be very different, and there's a lot of replayability in those endgame scorings, and that's the main focus of the game, trying to get to those endgame scorings so you can get the most out of that. And that's where I feel the replayability is really, really great. And that's 5 out of 5 for replayability. And let's go to scale. This game is a dry Euro game where you have those bidding things and you are taking away the cubes, and it's it's not an engine building game, it's more like a set collection. And set collection works with any amount of players, to be honest. You can play it with all the player counts, it will work. It's not like you have negotiations or thematic choices, or with less players there's less interaction or chaos. It's basically the same. So I would say it scales well. There's no big difference between the different player counts, so I give it 5 out of 5. So this game will get a total of 21 out of 25, which gives it a silver Würfel medal, which is really cool in my opinion. I wouldn't say this game is totally for me, because it's kind of dryish, but I like the whole well-oiled kind of a Euro mechanics in it, and a little bit of that economy as well. I like that. It's just this game isn't that pretty, and maybe it's not that easy to get it to the table. But I'm always looking forward to Moaideas game design games, because they are doing a really cool, really different, really nice games. This game feels a little bit different from those Euro games that I have played. So why not? This is a very nice package. I would definitely recommend you to try this game. And if you don't care about the art, you care about the mechanics, you might like this game even more than me, you know? So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and take a look at all the social media accounts like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And we see you in yet another video. Probably a review or Würfel cast, you know. We'll see. But thank you for watching. Bye bye. This channel is sponsored by Osprey Games. Check them out at ospreypublishing.com.